Hey, this is Nate Shaw with the Brooklyn Music Factory. I'm going to walk you through the HomeRock or lesson notes template. We call it HomeRock here at the factory. The purpose of this video is to show you how to lay out your HomeRock so that it is effective for your student and it's helpful and beneficial for the parent who is looking on. As well, it's going to show you exactly how to keep track of your lessons. Every student at the factory is eligible for 34 or more lessons, an average of 34 lessons in our school year. So that means we start in September, we end in June, and we want them to know exactly what lesson number they are on for the year and how many more lessons they have in the year. We also want our families to be crystal clear on what our makeup policy is, which means we allow them 3 makeup lessons over the course of our school year, and we want them to know how many lessons they have remaining in the school year and how many makeup lessons they have taken to date. So the HomeRock is a perfect place for the families to be able to keep track of that, and it's also a great place for you as a faculty member to be able to keep track of that. Let's take a look at an example. Here is the Maestro Logan Pepper's HomeRock. Okay, number 1, you can see the outline of the HomeRock. The important thing is you have the student name, obviously. You have the lesson number that they're on. You have the date of the current lesson. I always use this feature up here, which is the date and time feature, to automatically merge that in. If I want to change the date, I simply double click on it and then select the calendar. So that's a nice little feature there. The time of the lesson. Then you'll see the daily checklist for them. You'll notice that you have the days of the week running across the top, but then on the left hand side you have a mirror of their lesson architecture. So their experience in the lesson is they open with a free and easy warm-up. Their 5-minute warm-up, but then they move on to skills and drills, some gig song work, a key music concept game, and finally a review of what their goal is. So you'll see that their HomeRock is supposed to mirror precisely what happens in their lesson. So skills and drills, you'll see down here specifics about what they're doing. The Maestro Logan Pepper's working on C major scale, hands together up and down, with 4 different tempos. The jam tracks are on his Dropbox. And then so he would simply check off on Monday or Tuesday whenever he did his skills and drills. Moving on, you'll see the goal here. Here's what's important about the goal. The goal is meant specifically for the parents. The goal is going to be in a question form. Can you play all 3 book songs in a mini concert for Nate next week? Why is it in a question form? Well, because the parent, who may not understand what exactly Logan is working on at home, will want to be able to periodically over the course of the week check in and be able to ask them to show them what he's working on. So this gives them a quick and easy way to be engaged in the practicing at home. The parent can simply read the goal. Can you play all 3 book songs in a mini concert for Nate next week? And Logan would say, yeah, no problem, let me show you. Okay, so that's the point of the goal. That's why it's always in question form. So it's easy for a parent to read and be engaged. Next thing you'll show is the next lesson. Again, I use the date merge field here so that I can just simply click a week from the current date. And then moving down, you have the final, and this is a very important part, the next gig. Gigs are a huge part of what we do in the private lesson program at the Brooklyn Music Factory. Make sure that the gig is always listed at the bottom of their HomeRock. Their next opportunity to connect with other musicians at the factory should be listed here. Gigs are huge. Make sure they're on the lesson notes as soon as possible. Okay, so now Logan Pepper's just come in for a lesson. So I am going to, in preparation for that lesson, I'm going to cut and paste his lesson notes. I'm going to put a page break here and paste them right there. So what that does for me is it shows me last week's lesson and this week's lesson. I'm then going to change the number for for this week's lesson, number 16. I'm going to change the date to today's date for his lesson. I'm going to change the next lesson date for a week from today. And I'm then going to update his lesson notes in preparation for his lesson. Whatever it is I've prepared for him to do as a new skill and drill or gig psalm work or a new game I'm introducing, or any support materials for his goal of the week. Okay, now what's important is let's talk about a few different scenarios for Logan Pepper if he's absent from his lesson. So, the first is if Logan Pepper is eligible for a makeup, he calls in sick and says, I'm not going to make it, I got the flu. Mom says he's just not going to make it. We thought he could do it and he can't. And you say, okay, he's eligible for a makeup lesson. Then you are not going to cut and paste this lesson note. You are simply going to leave it blank and wait for the next lesson that he comes in and add the lesson note. The reason is you want to know that was on lesson number 15, and when he comes in next time, he's in fact going to get his 16th lesson because he's eligible for a makeup. The next scenario is Logan Pepper is not eligible for a makeup. For example, let's say Logan just missed the lesson, completely forgot that he had a lesson, instead went to the basketball court and shot some hoops. Well, he's not eligible for a makeup then. So what you would do is you would cut and paste his previous week into this week. You would put the lesson number, count number there, and you would put missed in bold. That way you have a record that in fact on his 16th lesson, which was supposed to be February 18th, he missed it. No show. Okay, the third and final scenario is he has canceled his lesson, but he is not eligible for a makeup. He's used up all his makeup credits, he's not eligible, but he canceled the lesson. He lets you know that he's not going to make it. All you'd do differently there is you'd still cut and paste the lesson notes in, lesson number 16, and you'd write canceled in bold. That way you have a record that in fact he let you know, but he's not making it. Okay? Those are the three scenarios, and those are how you update your HomeRock. Either they deserve a makeup, in which case you do not change the number, they missed, in which case you typed missed here, or they canceled, in which case you typed canceled here. Why do you want to keep track of this lesson number like this? The reason is simple. This is the easiest way for a family to know what lesson number they're on. It's the easiest way for a faculty member to know what lesson you're on. And most importantly, here it is, February 18th, and I'm at lesson number 16. That means I have I have about 17 or 18 more lessons that I owe Logan, and I have about 5 months to do them in. So I can be crystal clear that I'm obviously going to need to schedule a couple or 3 days of makeup lessons for Logan in order to reach the mark of 34 lessons by the end of the year. Because the very last lesson of his HomeRock should look like this. Lesson number 34, and the date, we'll say, the very last lesson of his year is going to be June 23rd. You should see lesson 34, date, the last lesson of Logan Pepper's school year will be there. If you are not seeing lesson 34 here, well, we got problems, because that family deserves 34 lessons, whether they show up to them or not. They're eligible for 34. Okay, have fun with your HomeRock, and make sure that this is up to date and current every week so that your BMF family is crystal clear on how many lessons they have remaining.